Okay, let's be real. Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of information online? It's overwhelming, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to change that. We're going to equip you with the skills to navigate the digital world like a seasoned detective. It's all about moving from just being a casual searcher to becoming a real critical thinker.
I mean, it's such a familiar feeling, isn't it? You type a totally simple question into a search engine, and boom, you're hit with this tidal wave of results. It's paralyzing sometimes. You're just sitting there thinking, where do I even begin with all this? It's a struggle we all face in this completely information-saturated world we live in. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? This is the modern information problem. It's not just that there's too much stuff out there, it's the quality. I mean, we are constantly battling totally unreliable sources, hidden biases that search engines bake right in, and of course, straight-up misinformation. Some people even call it cyber vandalism. Honestly, it's no wonder finding the truth feels like such an uphill battle.
Okay, so how do we actually rise above all this digital chaos? The answer, and it's a big one, is all about a shift in mindset. We need to go from just being passive searchers to becoming active, professional researchers, armed with a clear, methodical approach. It's really about trading that chaos for clarity.
Now, this slide right here really nails the difference. On one side, you've got casual searching. And look, let's be honest, most of us live in that column, right? We type in a few keywords, click the top results, and next thing you know, we're 3 hours deep in some bizarre rabbit hole. But a professional researcher, a digital detective, they operate with total precision. They start with a question, not just a keyword, they verify everything, and they stick to a focused plan. Big difference.
And here it is. This is the real game changer. The absolute most important work you're going to do, it happens before you even open a search engine. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's all about the prep work. It's the strategic planning that sets you up for a successful, focused search.
All right, let's dive into that first crucial step, the planning phase. Seriously, think of it like a detective building their case file before they even think about hitting the streets. You'd never see a detective start an investigation without a clear objective, right? Well, the exact same principle applies here, to our digital investigations.
So, this planning process breaks down into 3 simple but super powerful steps. First up, you've got to define your core question. And I mean, what's the problem you are really trying to solve? Step 2, identify the audience. Who is this research for? What's actually going to convince them? And finally, you have to set the scope. Are we going for a huge, broad overview or a narrow, deep dive? And setting that scope, well, it's a bit of a balancing act. If you go too broad, yeah, you'll get a wider understanding of the topic, but man, it can be a massive time sink. But if you go too narrow, sure, it's focused and efficient, but you run the risk of not finding enough information or maybe even missing the bigger picture. So finding that sweet spot really depends on your question and how much time you've got.
Okay, so you've done your planning, you've gathered your digital clues. Now comes the most critical part of the whole investigation, verification. A true digital detective has a mantra: trust no one, question everything. Every single source you find is a suspect until it's proven innocent.
So, how do you actually do that? How do you separate the good stuff from the garbage? Well, you need a system. Let's go through a simple but really powerful checklist that's going to help you interrogate every single digital clue you come across. This is your detective's toolkit for evidence evaluation.
First thing on our checklist, the author. You have to ask, who actually created this content? Are they a real, qualified expert, or is it just some random person with a strong opinion? You've got to look for their credentials, see who they're affiliated with, check out their track record. And hey, if you can't find any information about who wrote it, that is a massive red flag.
All right, next up, purpose. You have to ask yourself, why does this piece of content exist? What's its goal? Is it trying to inform you? To teach you something? Or is it trying to persuade you or, sell you something? Think about it. An article on a company's blog is almost always trying to sell you their product, so you have to take what it says with a grain of salt. Figuring out the motive is absolutely key to spotting bias.
And that leads us perfectly to our next checkpoint, objectivity. Is the information actually being presented in a fair, impartial way? Or does it use a lot of emotional, biased language? You got to be on the lookout for loaded words, things that are designed to make you feel a certain way, or arguments that are totally one-sided. A news article that only talks to people from one political party? Yeah, that's probably not very objective.
Now this might just be the most important step in the entire process, accuracy. The golden rule is, can you verify this information somewhere else? with other independent sources. Look, a credible source will almost always list their sources so you can go and check the facts for yourself. If you can't find anyone else backing up a claim, you should be extremely skeptical.
And last, but definitely not least, is currency. You have to check, when was this information published or last updated? Is it still relevant for your topic today? I mean, think about a fast-moving field like, say, AI or technology. Information that's only a year old can be completely useless, so always look for a date to make sure what you're reading hasn't expired.
So, why does all of this matter so much? Here's the thing. In the world we live in today, being able to find and evaluate information isn't just a skill for academics anymore. Nope, it is an absolutely essential life skill for every single one of us. When it comes to the fight against misinformation, we are all on the front lines.
And this quote, wow, it just perfectly sums up the challenge, doesn't it? The internet is a total double-edged sword. That open, anyone can publish nature is what makes it so incredible, but it's also what makes it so dangerous. It's like the digital Wild West out there, and the responsibility to tell fact from fiction, well, that rests squarely on our shoulders. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The internet has all the answers in the world, billions of them. But are you asking the right questions? The next time you feel yourself getting lost in that sea of information, just stop and remember the incredible power of asking a good, well-crafted question. Because ultimately, that is the key to unlocking the truth.